Hello everybody, hope you are doing well today. Coming to you from a lovely Central Park in the middle of Barcelona, Spain. And just wanted to give kind of this week, day, whatever's quick update. So we've had a rather interesting couple days. We needed to find a stopgap solution in order to kind of fix our designer problem. So my CTO went out and found a developer, a front-end developer with design experience. And this seems to have done the job for the time being. Today is, well, technically yesterday was his first day. So both my CTO and our head of operations met with him for an extended period, kind of went over all the things that they're expecting from him and what he's gonna need to do. And that seems to have worked out fairly well. The way that this kind of came about was our CTO reached out to his old network and essentially just prodded the network to see if anyone had any recommendations of people that could kind of fill that gap. Thankfully, due to the CTO's past work experience, he's got a pretty darn large network. So he wound up finding someone at about, again, and these are like India/Vietnam rates, at about 30 to 45 an hour, but was able to negotiate through a mix of shares and goodwill and performance-based bonus down to about $12 an hour, but then gave an extra $3 just out of kind of goodwill. So we wound up settling around 15 an hour. The first deliverable is going to be due on Friday, and that is to show a couple of screens with the design language that we kind of started with. So we have an idea of the aesthetic that we're going to. We really want to skew more high class, at least in the beginning. And then obviously if we need to move down market, we totally can. But this is a good initial test to see if A, the person is as competent as they say they are, and B, if the working relationship seems like it's something that can be viable and last long term. Oh, and I guess I should also mention, last week after we had the wine tour, we were talking to the owners of that company and hearing that they were having a pain point and that they felt they were paying way too much to platform providers in terms of their booking. And while they're interested in both being a part of the reward side of our program and a part of the actual points earning side of our program, they said that their single biggest pain point outside of customer acquisition, which we can help with, was that platform providers are charging like 30%. So we actually had one of those moments where we had been speaking to customers. We said, hey, we found a real need. What can we do to alleviate that? And this is something I find a lot of entrepreneurs kind of get sidetracked by. And they'll start to build features for specific customers who haven't yet committed to paying for it, and kind of not help them, but kind of encourage them to deviate from their core mission. So this was the first time that we kind of had one of those bright, shiny rocks that was nearby, and I was really proud of the team for not getting distracted by it. We definitely put it in something called our thought dump, where we essentially put all the ideas that we have that we think might be good at some point in the future, and we'll revisit it. But ultimately, to get launched, that's not exactly what we need to do. Either way, we were very happy to have the positive feedback from a real potential customer about the core area of our business. The other thing I did this week that I thought was pretty good was I read a book. Now, I'm a big book on tape guy, so anytime I say I read something, I listen to it. But that's just between you and me. So I listened to a book by Noah Kagan called like The $1 Million Weekend or something like that. I actually think that book was darn good. There's a lot of great advice in there, and the thing that I took away from it, I mean, there's a bunch of great experiments, there's a bunch of great ideas, there's a bunch of great themes in there. I would encourage anyone with the opportunity to give it a listen or a read. But the thing that it really kind of got me to start doing again was going back to really focusing on doing small, quick experiments in terms of product market fit, customer validation, and all those kinds of things. So our hypothesis right now is that our initial customers are probably going to be mid to high tier bars, restaurants, and clubs. We know that because we've talked to several club owners, we've talked to several bar owners, and we've talked to several restaurant owners. But we haven't asked them to put their money where their mouth is yet. What I want to do before next week is go out, really dive in and figure out what data is the most attractive to them, what they really want to see, what they want to understand about their customers, and what is ultimately valuable to them, as well as kind of really suss out what the right price point is. So what I've done is thus far I've reached out to a few people that I know in the space. I'm going to have meetings with them. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask them for referrals to other people who they think might benefit from the product or service. Because it's one thing to get feedback from the people that know you and love you and will help you out and even kind of pay for you for something just to make you feel good. It's another thing to have a random person who doesn't care about you at all give you real meaningful feedback. If we can hit it right with them, then we can really start to understand if we've achieved product market fit, which is ultimately what we're looking for. And as we had that conversation today about our updates from either side and what we were ultimately going to do, I got an interesting question from the tech team. And it goes back to one of the things that you'll hear pretty frequently in the startup space. Are you a vitamin or a painkiller? Our CTO was curious, are they struggling to find people that are able to jump in when they're short-staffed? Where are some other elements that we can provide additional value to the business as we help them solve the problem of getting customers in the door? But where are they really feeling it, and where are they willing to spend money? So that's ultimately kind of what we're going to do this week. That's what we're going to work on. I will be back with any updates that we may have, but just wanted to touch base, check in, say hi, and get outside for a little bit, because that's the amazing thing. I mean, so half of this is going to be about building the business, it's going to be about lifestyle, it's going to be about all those different things, but it is, 4 p.m, but I'm sitting in a park in Barcelona. We don't need to be physically present to get everything done. Your phone, your computer, your iPad, Zoom, Google Meet, WhatsApp are all your friends. You should very much be able to build a business from anywhere. To me, the definition of misery was sitting in an office every day, looking at the same screens, not experiencing anything the world has to offer. I took my weekly meeting today from inside a store and walking down the street. And guess what? I just muted when I wasn't talking, and no one knew any different. There was literally no difference between me sitting in a phone booth in a WeWork or doing what I did. The information gets communicated the same way. So I encourage you to surround yourself with people that will support your adventurous spirit. And if you are someone who prefers being in an office all day, go for it, do it. But please don't judge those who don't. As long as everyone is getting their stuff done, that's really all that matters. So, thanks for the check-in. Just wanted to say hi. I appreciate y'all. Talk soon.